A situation where we hadn't seen each other in about maybe 5-6 years, but we had closure and we said hello and everything was all good.
Macho Man, Randy Savage, and Miss Elizabeth, two icons of the WWF from the late 80s and early 90s. A partnership that had its ups and downs.
Ooh, yeah!
Randy Poffo and Elizabeth Hewlett were married in 1984 for 8 years before they divorced in 1992. It was at SummerSlam in 1991 where the two were married on TV. The event was dubbed a match made in heaven. Of course, the two were actually still married at this point. It was another year until they would be divorced. Here, the Macho Man Randy Savage talks about that moment at SummerSlam.
How did you feel doing the marriage at SummerSlam 91? Since there was like a lot of real life, yet you and Elizabeth have already been married for years.
Yeah.
How did it feel playing that out in front of the public like that?
Good question. Because we were married at the time, and this was for the fans. But with 20,000 plus fans in Madison Square Garden, and everybody's getting ready for the match, and I'm getting ready for a wedding, putting my tuxedo on, it was kind of wild. You know what I mean? Talk about walking down the aisle into. I'd rather have gone into a cage match with Andre the Giant that day.
It was just a few years later where the two would find themselves out of the WWE and now working for WCW. And in 1997 and 1998 the two would reform with Miss Elizabeth once again becoming Randy Savage's manager when the two were a part of the NWO. With Elizabeth, now known as just Liz, would often get physically involved in Randy Savage's matches, something she had not done previously as Miss Elizabeth when they were both in the WWE. This new pairing of Savage and Liz in WCW was of course a few years after the divorce. However, the two still worked together well.
A couple of years later in WCW, you were paired with Elizabeth again. That was after the divorce.
That was after the divorce, right?
Was that hard on you to have to do that?
To me, it was like a full circle situation because if I hadn't have done that, then I hadn't have got over it. You know what I mean? Because I don't believe in taking anything to the grave. You know what I mean? Because and me and Elizabeth are still friends. You know what I mean? Just something that didn't work, and it was a no problem situation. You know what I mean? And just life goes on, and you shouldn't spend the rest of your life dwelling over any one thing.
Yeah.
Then we come to May of 2003, and tragedy struck. Elizabeth Hewlett had died at the age of just 42. At the time, she was in a relationship with professional wrestler Lex Luger. A terrible accident had occurred at the home where Elizabeth OD'd. The death was ruled as accidental, but yet just another professional wrestling star gone too soon.
Yeah, we were actually married, and we got a divorce, which happens in life sometimes, and we had separation, we had closure, but I really feel real bad for her and her family. And it was a situation where we hadn't seen each other in about maybe 5-6 years, but we had closure and we said hello and everything was all good, but I feel bad for her family.
Then just 8 years later, almost to the day, tragically, the Macho Man Randy Savage also died. It was in May of 2011 Randy Savage was driving his Jeep Wrangler when he became unresponsive and crashed into a tree. Paramedics arrived soon after and found him dead. Randy Savage was just 58 years old, one of the most explosive and charismatic wrestlers to ever step into a wrestling ring. And the partnership, the relationship of the Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth was one the fans will never forget, one the fans truly loved, and one the WWE Universe will never forget. Thanks heaps guys for tuning into the video. Be sure to drop a scorpion death drop on that like button and subscribe to the channel for more awesome pro wrestling action from the WWE, the WCW and much more.